Thank you for coming out on this evening. It's rainy, and I know you could have been doing a dozen different things, but thank you for being here to support the children. And they've been working on this Veterans Day program for months now, and I sincerely hope you're going to enjoy it. Speaking of which, on behalf of Seymour High School, Seymour Intermediate, and Seymour Junior High, I do want to officially welcome you to Seymour High School's 26th Annual Veterans Day program. Yeah. And I know we have some very special guests scattered throughout the auditorium, but I'd like to just take a minute. If you are a veteran, you've served in the armed forces, if you'd be willing to stand at this time, we'd love to give you a warm welcome. And so now, without any further ado, we'll get started with our program. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Who stand proud and tall and serve us all unselfishly with heart and soul. They answer freedom's call to those who serve us all. From this great land, our heroes and dreams on oh so
To veterans throughout American history, the flag has served as a symbol of their service and as a continuing testimony that the service was worthwhile. Please stand as we honor our country with the singing of our national anthem. Thank you. You may be seated.
Others call it America, but we call it home. Countless men and women risk their home, their security, and even their lives so that future generations may call themselves Americans. Who are these brave men and women who offered their lives for the freedom of others? They are American veterans, and their love for home is evident in their letters to family and friends.
The war was over for Private Tom McCabe, who was sent to Fort Knox in Kentucky to recover from a non-fatal wound he received while in Vietnam. While there, he wrote a letter to his parents, expressing the joy to simply be alive and back home in the USA.
What a marvelous feeling to be back in this glorious country of ours. I'm still awed that every morning when I wake up, I can look out over the plush countryside with its green grass, rolling forested hills, and blue skies overhead. It seems like I've been through some sort of nightmare, but dawn has come, and the bad dream has vanished with the coming of the new day, and there's a new song in my heart. I love this land.
From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest Established on May 26, 1942, the Armed Forces Radio was created to help soldiers to deal with boredom, loneliness, and homesickness. More than 40 years ago, Air Force Sergeant Adrian Kanarer served as a disc jockey and helped raise the morale of soldiers stationed in Vietnam with his energetic Top 40-style radio broadcast. His exploits were dramatized in the 1987 Robin Williams movie, Good Morning Vietnam.
The Air Force was looking for something for me to do, and they noticed I had broadcasting experience, so everything developed from there. They sent me to Vietnam in the spring of 1965. In a year's time, I watched Saigon go from a sleepy French colonial city to a complete nightmare with this huge influx of money, equipment, and personnel. By the time I left, the traffic was unmanageable, the economy in ruins, the black market out of control. It was quite an experience to watch that. When I was stationed in Vietnam as a DJ, I did interviews with the troops out on the field. And one of the reactions I got from them was one of frustration. They would be in hot pursuit of an enemy unit, and then they would have to disengage because the unit would cross some invisible barrier or border. They'd be sitting there, receiving incoming fire, and not only were they not permitted to return fire, but they weren't even permitted to reload their weapons without permission from headquarters. In addition to doing interviews and providing information, we were a morale factor, so we tried to sound as much as possible like a stateside radio station. If you spoke English, we were the only game in town. So we had the Top 40 program, the country music program, soul program, and so forth. I tried to play as much of the Top 40 as I could because that's what most of our listeners wanted to hear. We had done some surveys, and I don't think to anyone's surprise, we found that most of our listeners were in their late teens and early 20s. Also, demographically, we found out that very few had ever left the United States. Many had never even left their hometowns. But the military quite literally picked them up, took them halfway around the world, and dumped them in a completely alien environment. Well, it was our job, or as we like to say in the military, our mission, to be an antidote to that. Each morning, I'd start the program we called Dawn Buster by saying, "Good morning, Vietnam!" And then I'd play some of the top hits from the day. And suddenly, these soldiers weren't in some foreign land fighting for a cause they didn't always understand. The music transported them back home. Maybe to a high school gym where they were dancing with their sweetheart again.
Has anyone seen Johnny? Oh, we had a horrible fight and I haven't seen him since. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know where to find him. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. 'Cause he told me we're going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Gee, I really love you and we're gonna get married. Going to the chapel of love. Spring is here, the sky is blue. Whoa, birds will sing as if they knew. Today's the day they'll say I do, and they'll never be lonely anymore. Because we're going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Gee, I really love you and we're gonna get married. Going to the chapel of love. Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Ba-doom, boom, boom. Come on, baby, lollipop, tell you why. It's just sweeter than an apple pie. And when he does the shaky rockin' dance, man, I haven't got a chance. I call him lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lolly. lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, lolly, lollipop. Johnny went. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Nobody knows where her Johnny has gone, but Judy left the same time. Why was he holding her hand when he's supposed to be? You keep saying you got something for me, something you call love, but confess you've been messing where you shouldn't been messing, and now someone else is getting all your best. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. Life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. When you've got worries, all the noise and the hurry seems to help, I know. Downtown, just listen to the music and the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk where the neon signs are pretty. How can you lose? The lights are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares and go downtown. Life will be great when you're downtown. No finer place for sure. Downtown, everything's waiting for you. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you.
So it's your party, huh? Well, I say it's time that we turn things up a notch. What do you say, guys? Born to be loved. Head out on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way. Yeah, tell me gonna make it happen. Take the world in a love embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. Born to be wild. Born to be wild. Johnny!
Each time we have a quarrel, it almost breaks my heart. 'Cause I am so afraid that we will have to part. Each night I ask the stars up above, why must I be a teenager in love?
I cried a tear for nobody but you. I'd be a lonely one if you should say we're through.
We're through.
It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Big girls don't cry. When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. You've got worries, all the noise and the hurry seems to help, I know. Downtown, the lights are much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares and go downtown. Life will be great when you're downtown. No finer place for sure. Downtown, everything's waiting for you.
My bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. say goodbye. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go.
Think you lost your love? Well, I saw him yesterday. It's you he's thinking of, and he told me what to say. He loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. He loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. And with a love like that, you know you should be glad.
My boyfriend's back and you're gonna be in trouble. Hey, Lord, when you see him coming, better cut out on the double. Hey, Lord, my boyfriend's back.
All you need is love.
All you need is love.
All you need is love. Love, love is all you need.
Vietnam for 1 year. Pat Sajak, who went on years later to Wheel of Fortune fame, actually took my place. You know, while I was there, I didn't really know if I had made a difference or not, but every once in a while, a man will come up to me if I'm at a veterans reunion or something, and he'll quietly shake my hand and say, "Thank you for helping me get through Nam," and that's pretty rewarding.
"75 years ago, 2,499 Americans lost their lives on the beaches of Normandy. Many historians agree that if not for the heroic actions of these Americans and other allies on D-Day, then Hitler might not have been overthrown. Their efforts began the liberation of German-occupied France and laid the foundation of the Allied victory on the Western Front. These endured all and gave all, that justice among nations might prevail, and that mankind might enjoy freedom and inherit peace."
On the beaches of Normandy, men fought and died so gallantly, so we could live a life that's free. On the beaches of Normandy, the 6th of June will always be within our hearts and memories of those who fought to keep us free. On the beaches of Normandy, so many died to keep us free and make us safe from tyranny. On the beaches of Normandy. the beaches of Normandy to keep us free.
Pictures help the mind to remember what the heart can never forget. They help us remember the faces of those we love, those we lost, and the sacrifices they've made.
I love visiting my grandma. I think as I've gotten older, I realize how precious these visits are. I also start seeing the need for family. It's funny. When we're young, we run away from our families to gain our independence. But as we get older, we cling to our ancestry in different ways.
I think I found the last of the boxes. I'll just set them with the ones you already got there.
It is so crazy to think that that was Grandpa. He looks so young.
He was quite the looker. His picture in particular I had on my dresser mirror, and I think and pray for him when he was away.
And is this a picture of your wedding?
Oh goodness, yes, that seems like many moons ago.
You were a beautiful bride, Grandma.
Well, I was a farmer's daughter. That's about as good as it got. Your grandfather, when I first met him, he walked up to me and he said, "Do you believe in love at first sight, or should I walk by again?" Oh, he got me! Oh, goodness. It took my daddy another year or so to believe it was love, but oh, it was love.
Oh, and is this Dad and Aunt Lainey?
Oh, goodness, yes. Your dad would always admire his dad's uniform when he put it on. He wanted to be just like his daddy.
I guess in some ways, he was.
So many ways. Here's one of your dad with his dad's military uniform on, hanging off of him, but look at that smile. That's all your dad wanted to do. He wanted to serve for his country.
I miss my dad, Grandma. I know he died for the country that he loved, and that fills my heart, but I miss him.
I miss him too. I miss them both. Is that what you're getting on about? Getting out the pictures?
I guess I just wanted to remember. Catch a glimpse of what Grandpa was like. Get a feel of why Dad loved the military so much. To be reminded of how truly blessed we are and what they did with their lives so we can be free.
Here. I want you to have this.
Grandma, I can't. That's yours.
No, I want you to have it. Hang it proudly or put it somewhere in your house that will remind you of your grandfather and your father's love for our country. Oh, looky here. Here's one of us all at the Fall Festival. Those were some good memories.
So this Veterans Day, let us remember. Let us smile as we are reminded of our everyday freedoms. When we laugh, sit down to eat at a restaurant with our loved ones, hike the beautiful Smoky Mountains, or even lick an ice cream cone. These are little liberties we have been given. We are blessed. Let us take the time to look at those who have been left behind and hug them and thank them for their sacrifices and their loved ones' sacrifices. May we never forget and uphold these basic liberties entrusted to us.
Trumpet sounds in the night. A soldier is standing there. It's calling him out to the stars and the stripes. It's calling him God knows where.
He kisses the ones he loves goodbye and leaves in the dead of night. For freedom he'll heed the call, leave all he knows,
and for freedom he'll stand and fight. And somewhere a man and wife can't believe they're waving their girl goodbye.
for gone are the days bells and curls and candlelit lullabies. If they had their way, she'd stay young forever and never be far from home. But freedom has drawn her heart to danger shore, and for freedom they'll let her go. A soldier lies wounded still, remembering the land he loves, he cries,
I loved you with all my
heart. For freedom said, I'm her son, whatever comes, and for freedom I'll say goodbye. Still standing there. She bled and she brought one land under God. Her colors still lead us there. She carried the lives of those before us. She buried the bold and brave. For freedom she holds our hopes and hands up high. And for freedom she'll never
Today, more women served in the armed forces of the United States than any other time in our nation's history, in ways never before thought to be possible. This courageous heritage can be traced back to the Revolution, where women donned men's clothing and took up arms against the British. And though none had the right to vote, hundreds of women served as nurses, spies, and soldiers during the Civil War. Of the 33,000 women who defended America during World War I, some 300 lost their lives. More than 700,000 women defended their country during World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. As of 2014, 150 female patriots have lost their lives in Iraq and Afghanistan. Every woman who has ever served in the United States military has volunteered to do so. Their service has been heroic, their sacrifices profound, and their enormous accomplishments often go ignored. Tonight, we would like to recognize a few of these female veterans that showed incredible courage, tenacity, and patriotism.
Deanie Parrish served as a member of the Women's Air Force Service Pilots during World War II. She logged hundreds of hours of flight in numerous combat aircrafts and made it her mission to convince Congress to award the long-neglected WASP the Congressional Gold Medal. In 2010, she accepted that prestigious medal on behalf of all WASP.
I joined because my country needed me. 38 women actually gave their lives to this country in service as WASP. We were not militarized, so the government wouldn't even pay to send a body home. We took up a collection, and then we found out they would not let us put an American flag on her coffin. General Hap Arnold came to recognize how much women did help in the war effort, and he pushed really hard in 1944 to try to get Congress to give them veteran status, afford them the benefits. And that bill went before our Congress, and it was defeated. And you know, the WASP records were actually sealed and stamped secret and classified and were kept hidden away from historians for 33 years. I think we were probably the best kept secret of World War II.
General Brigadier Ronham Cornum, PhD, MD, serves as a flight surgeon during the Persian Gulf War. While performing a flight and search rescue mission for a downed Air Force F-16 pilot, her Black Hawk helicopter was taken down by enemy fire. She was shot in the back, had both her arms broken, and was captured by Iraqi forces.
That day in February, the 27th of February, somebody called our operating center and said there's been an F-16 pilot shot down, and you guys are the only people with helicopters anywhere near. Can you go get him? So, we got my Black Hawk and two Apaches. We went out whopping to get this guy. So, the idea was, we're gonna whop in, the Apaches will circle, we'll land our Black Hawk, get this guy on a stretcher, get him in the Black Hawk and take off. And that was the plan. Unfortunately, no plan survives contact with the enemy. We got within about 1 kilometer of him, and the ground just opened up and started firing at us. I remember thinking, I'm gonna die right here. After the crash, I managed to push myself out from some of the pieces of the wreckage, and I looked up, and there were 5 guys with guns pointed at my head. So I knew pretty much that I wasn't dead, but that I was a POW.
Command Sergeant Major Cynthia Pritchett was the longest-serving command major in the Army. She was responsible for 27,000 coalition forces in Afghanistan. Her military career spanned 36 years, most of it spent training soldiers and as an advisor to the general and flag officers.
I joined the Army despite my father. I figured the best way to tick off a 25-year Navy man was to join the Army. We still had the Women's Army Corps, so I actually joined the Army as a WAC, and we were still separate. It wasn't until about 1978 when women and men were actually integrated into the same unit. They're very apprehensive, how do I deal with women? I said, do you have daughters? I remember our senior drill sergeant, who was a man, I said to him, I'll teach you everything about how to deal with women as long as you teach me how to be a good infantryman.
Lieutenant Colonel Tammy Duckworth suffered severe combat wounds and lost both her legs while in Iraq when the U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter she was co-piloting was hit by a rocket-propelled grenade. She was later elected into the U.S. House of Representatives and formerly served as Assistant Secretary for Public and Intergovernmental Affairs for the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs.
November 12th, 2004 was a really great day for me. I woke up early. I was going to get to fly an entire day's worth of missions with one of my favorite pilots to fly with, Chief Warrant Officer Dan Milberg. So we had a great day. We flew north, we flew south, we flew all over the Baghdad area. And then just as we were about to go home, a call came in and said, hey, can you divert to this airfield and pick up some passengers? And then on the way back from that diversion to our flight route was when we were hit. We basically flew into an ambush, and that's when the giant fireball landed in my lap and I was hit by an RPG. It basically vaporized my right leg. My left leg was kicked up into the instrument panel and sheared off, and it blew off most of my right arm. At the time, I didn't really know that I was injured. I think what would happen is that I would black out, wake up, and try to fly. Black out, wake up, and try to fly. I think the emotional toll came later when I thought that it was my fault, when I thought that I had failed as an officer, as a soldier, and as a pilot. And I saw one of my crew members who was also hurt as we were going into surgery, and I just looked at them and I started crying. I just looked at them and I said, I'm so sorry. I hurt you. I didn't do my job. I'm a crappy pilot. I'm so sorry. And he looked at me and he goes, what are you talking about? You and Dan did everything you could to land the aircraft. We're alive because you kept doing your job. And I've been fine ever since.
Lieutenant Colonel Nicole Malachowski was the first female pilot to fly with the Thunderbirds. As a combat pilot, she flew 26 missions in an F-15, providing air-to-ground cover for our troops fighting in Iraq. She later commanded the 333rd Flight Squadron at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base in North Carolina.
I came from your kind of standard, patriotic, middle-class American family.
My parents took us to an air show, and I saw an aircraft called the F-4 Phantom flying, and it was loud, and it was fast, and you could smell the jet fuel, and it was technology and power. And that was the day I decided I wanted to be a fighter pilot, but at the time, literally that year when I was 5, women weren't allowed to fly fighter or bomber aircraft. And I remember in 6th grade, we had to stand up in front of the class and say what we wanted to be, and I remember standing up and saying that I wanted to be a fighter pilot, and a lot of kids started laughing, and I remember the teacher informing me very unceremoniously that it was against the law for women to fly combat aircraft. My dreams that I've had since I was 5 were being shattered right before my eyes, and it was hard to realize that everything I thought I could do, that I wanted to do, that I dreamed of doing, wasn't going to be allowed because of some law. But in 1991, the government lifted restrictions on women flying combat aircraft, and in 2006, I served as Thunderbird number 3, flying in the right wing position in the diamond formation. It was awesome.
Marine Captain Vernice Armour became the first African-American female combat helicopter pilot and served 2 tours piloting a Super Cobra in Iraq. This decorated veteran now works as a motivational speaker, consultant, and coach.
It is imperative that our American community see the true experience of what our women are going through and what they are accomplishing every day. Period. End of story. It's doing a disservice not to show that. We serve honorably by the sides of our brothers every day, just like they do. So, does our American society need to hear these stories? Absolutely.
Here tonight to perform the solo from Color Me America is Seymour High School Class of 2014 graduate, Nina Rogers. Nina is a 2nd lieutenant with the United States Air Force. Please give her a warm welcome.
That ring true to all I am and feel and love and do. I stand proud and brave and tall. I want justice for us all. Color me America, red, white, and blue. I see red when evil speaks, spilling red blood on our streets, and I feel blue from grief and sorrow that it brings. But the white, the light of love, God's own spirit like a dove, lives
It is the harsh reality of war that not all those who serve return home. And those who do return home often suffer from PTSD. Navy veteran sailor Jerry worked as an aviation mechanic with the VFA 83 Rampagers. While in the military, she listened to their stories and turned them into songs as a way to help them cope with their thoughts and feelings. In April of 2017, she wrote and posted, "Hallelujah, Veterans Version." Miss Jerry states, "I'll always wonder if I did them justice." With Miss Jerry's permission, Ms. Burkhart has written an a cappella arrangement of Leonard Cohen's song using Miss Jerry's words. And like Miss Jerry, she hopes it does them justice.
The sea to fight a war. You didn't know just what would happen to you. Stepped in the dirt, boots on the ground. The gunfire was the only sound, and to yourself you whispered hallelujah, hallelujah. Every night you walked the walk and you fought the fight. You never saw the end in sight, now did you? The day awash in a haze of red, the blood, the mud, too many dead. Your weary soul was crying hallelujah, 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 Too late to help, you hear a shot. You know you're in a deadly spot. You never thought the day would come, now did you? Your brother falls down on the ground. The enemy is all around, and from your lips you scream a hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. You fought the fight till it was done. You have the strength to carry on. You thought it'd be much better back home, didn't you? You try each day, keep pushing through, but the battle lives inside of you. It's a cold and a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah.
1,310,399 men and women have died fighting in American wars. At this time, we would like to honor the memory of those who have died fighting for our freedom. We ask you to please stand as we offer this tribute. Thank you. You may be seated.
Freedom has never come without a cost and cannot be sustained without sacrifice. We as a nation owe a great debt to the many brave men and women who have fought and died for our freedom. At this time, it is our privilege and honor to honor those who have served the United States Armed Forces. We would ask you to stand as your respective branch of service is called by its name.
As you stand, members of the SHS Choral Department will be handing out green light bulbs to our veterans. A green light means go, and that's what our veterans are known for, the ability to take action quickly no matter the challenge. And though we may not always be able to see our veterans, they should always be able to see our support. Change one light to green and support your veterans.
The United States Army.
I been such a privilege to honor our veterans at tonight's performance. Perhaps you have been moved and wonder if there is also something that you can do to help them. At this time, we would like to introduce you to an organization in our own area working diligently to improve the quality of lives for wounded veterans. It is the Smoky Mountain Service Dog. The mission of this organization is to enhance the physical and psychological quality of life for wounded veterans by providing custom-trained mobility assistance service dogs at no cost to the veteran. Now, if you would all please direct your attention to one of these walls, we have a video that will show you a little bit more information about this organization.
This is Halloran Hilton Hill speaking for Smoky Mountain Service Dogs. Since 2010, this outstanding organization has served wounded warriors by providing mobility assistance dogs to veterans in 7 states within a 350-mile radius of Knoxville. Smoky Mountain Service Dogs is an inspiration to all of us. Let's hear more about what this organization is doing to serve our veterans.
I'm Mike Kitchens, and I'm honored to serve as volunteer chair for Smoky Mountain Service Dogs. Our mission is simply to enhance the physical and psychological quality of life for wounded veterans and their families, and we do that by providing them at no cost, highly trained and custom-trained mobility assistance service dogs. It's not just the physical task that the dog can do for that wounded veteran. That dog plays a critical role in helping they and their families get on with their lives.
You know, when I first got him, I wasn't doing much for myself at all. He can bring me my medicines. You know, if I need a drink out of the refrigerator, he goes to the refrigerator, opens the refrigerator up, gets the drink, shuts the refrigerator, brings it back. You know, if you drop something, like I said, he's there before I can even bend over to get it.
I was a sergeant in the United States Marine Corps, and I got injured in November 2006, which resulted in the loss of my legs. My service dog, Bella, she is a Smoky Mountain service dog, and she's my constant companion. There's nothing that I could do to repay Smoky Mountain service dogs for what they've done for me.
I can put weight on her and she'll hold it. She'll help me for stability to get up and down out of chairs. She's just waiting to help. You can tell Lucy is very special that way. When the service dog becomes your dog, it's yours from then on to take care of each other. It's a great feeling.
To train one service dog, it takes 2 years and approximately $22,000. And because the organization does not have an adequate training facility, Smoky Mountain Service Dogs uses various locations throughout the community. Smoky Mountain Service Dogs is launching More Wags for Warriors, a facilities campaign to raise $500,000 to build a veteran canine training center, which will include an 18-dog kennel and indoor veteran training space.
Our support base has just increased significantly, and we were just absolutely honored and thrilled to be named the recipient of the Chris Kyle Memorial Benefit fundraiser in Fort Worth, Texas. Our vision is to develop that into a veterans canine training campus to essentially double the number of severely wounded veterans that we can serve.
That dog has given me my life back. Whether you're in a dark spot from an injury, whether it be physical, mental, these dogs give you something that nobody else can give you. I'm thankful for them.
Now they need your help. Please support Smoky Mountain Service Dogs as they strive to train and place more service dogs with wounded veterans.
At this time, please give a warm welcome to Laurie Burt and Hooligan.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for inviting us to be here. We are very appreciative. I look forward to this concert every single year. Wasn't it the best ever? Thank you. So for those of you who may not know, Smoky Mountain Service Dogs is a local nonprofit. We serve the veterans that are within about a 350-mile radius of Knoxville, so they're your brothers and sisters, your neighbors. I think on the video you just saw, Bradley Walker lives in Dandridge, Tennessee. Billy Marshall is in Sevierville. We've got veterans that are in Blount County, all around you. So this is what we do. We try to do it with integrity and honor, just like our military serves us. We like to serve our veterans with that same level, that same high standard. I'm going to show you just a couple of the tasks that all of our dogs can do for our veterans. Hooligan is our canine ambassador. He does a very good job with demonstrating. He happens to love the limelight, but all of the tasks that Hooligan will show you can be performed by any of our dogs once they get through the 2 years of training. Just to give you a quick update from the video, we are almost completed with our new kennel facility. We're looking forward to an open house the spring of this year. And it's thanks to all of you in this community that we are able to do what we do. We get by because of the generous, giving volunteer spirit of East Tennessee. Last year when I was here, we were collecting some money and hoping to raise enough to buy a new treadmill to help keep our dogs in shape. And thank you, we do have that new treadmill now. Thank you. So as you just heard, we're going to get ready to about double the number of dogs that we have. So we'd like another treadmill. Nobody likes to wait in line at the gym for that treadmill, right? So we'd like to have another one. So once again, if you would like to support us, I'll be out in the lobby to collect donations. We also have the wonderful support of a lot of you as volunteers. If anybody would like to think about raising a puppy for us, a big job, I'd love to talk to you. If you would like to support us by getting a specialty license plate. You saw the dog Bella in the video with Brad Walker. Bella has now been put on a license plate drawn by Robert Tino. He painted that picture of Bella and gave us the rights to be able to use it on our specialty plate. That's something that we're in the process of doing right now. We need to collect 1,000 pre-orders. So if anybody would like this beautiful license plate, it's $35. I can tell you how to do that once again out in the lobby. But let's let Hooligan show off just a little bit, okay? I think somebody talked about this on the video. The command is drink. The whole string of command, when I say drink, he would go to the refrigerator with a little rope around it, pull open the door, grab a drink. We don't specify which drink, so we know it sometimes changes once they get to our veterans' homes, and that's perfectly okay. But for now, we'll just ask him, drink. So after he would get this drink out of the refrigerator, he would then use his snout. I've got this half full, so it's a little off balance. Get it? He would then use his snout to shut the door and then bring that drink to you. So you can be sitting there watching the game, and guess what? Somebody can bring you a new bottle of water. Something else, I don't know if I had this last year. I was real excited when I found these portable light switches. So our aim is to keep our veterans safe, and that usually means keeping them off of their feet as much as we can, unless they're wearing a harness out in public. So if you need to turn the lights off, maybe you've read a book in bed, now you want to turn the lights off, you can say, lights. And I'll just show you one more quick one. Credit card. I know I sometimes fumble my wallet when I'm at the checkout line. Yes. Leash. Left. Thank you all so very much. I'm very, very happy.
On behalf of the Seymour Choral Department and the Seymour High School Interact Club, we would like to present you with this basket.
Before our choirs sing this last song, we would just like to say that at this Veterans Day celebration, it has been our honor to remember those who have served and who are serving today. They are our role models. We thank our veterans for their sacrifice, and may we honor each of them by living our lives with the honor, courage, and commitment that they have displayed for our country. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
Once again, thank you so much for coming out this evening. Didn't they do great? You have some very, very talented children in this choir. I don't have to tell you that. So very proud of them. But most of all, once again, can we give our veterans a very warm thank you? Final thing, veterans, you're welcome to stay here and to meet with your friends and family and so forth. In the library, we have a reception, punch and cookies, and that's there for you. And then again, we really appreciate you being here. Please have a safe journey home, and may God bless you. Good night.